Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is going to be a first on my channel, and that is a book mail unboxing. So I have put out a few requests to publishers, and I did get one book from a publisher, but the reason that I'm doing this video is because I actually won one of the hourly raffle drawing prizes during Dewey's 24-hour readathon, and it finally came, and I was so excited, so I wanted to share it with you guys. I did already open it because I was so excited about it that I wanted to look at the books and get my hands on them and really like read the descriptions and everything. So I have already opened it, so it's not really an unboxing. And then I have one other envelope here to share as well. And yes, let's get started. The first obviously is going to be this. During Dewey's 24-hour readathon, they did, like every hour they would pull 3 or 5 people from the pool of everybody reading, and those people got to select a prize from the prize page, and I was actually picked in like the second hour. And then you would give like 3 options: your first, your top one, your second one pick, and then your third one. And then they would let you know which one you ended up getting. And I was so excited. I ended up getting a historical fiction like bundle from Crown Publishing. And so this arrived on my doorstep, and my husband was like, "You have a book, I think." And then I got home and I was like, that's not just one book. And if it is, that's a big book. So I'm going to open this and I'm going to show you what I received. So the first book in there is June, and I have seen this around the internet lately as a book pick for several different things. So this sounds like it's going to be, it's being very hyped. I believe that this is already out. Yes, it went on sale this month in May. And this is the story of a 25-year-old girl who has just recently lost her grandmother, and she is living in her grandmother's stately mansion, and then one day she finds out that she has been named the sole heir to this prominent wealthy man's fortune, and she has no idea who he is or why he knows who she is, and definitely doesn't know why she's been named his sole heir. And so she thinks he may have some ties to her grandmother, and of course his children then come knocking, trying to get Cassie, who is the main character, to give up the fortune. And along the way they all sort of learn about the ties between her grandmother June and their father or grandfather Jack. And it sounds like it's going to be a really amazing, thrilling historical fiction with a wonderful, you know, probably a little sad love story from the sound of the description, but this sounds fantastic and like something I will really enjoy reading. The next one in there was A Fine Imitation, and this one is about a woman who is living in a Park Avenue apartment. She has basically everything. She's at the height of social status, but her husband is never at home at night, and she is miserable and lonely. In comes a artist who is painting a mural in, I believe it's the building that she lives in, and he is very mysterious, and she wonders if he is who he says he is. And so she is kind of digging into who he is, and of course there's gonna be a romance, and it also talks about how she has her own secrets from when she was at Vassar and how she was almost brought to the brink of social exile. And I like the last line of the blurb, so I'm gonna read it to you. It says, "Dazzling and compulsively readable, A Fine Imitation explores what happens when we realize that the lives we've been born to lead are not the lives that will make us happy." So this one sounds like it's going to have a little bit of mystery and definitely a romance, and I mean, I'm excited to read all of these. We all, I think, know how I feel about historical fiction. I did forget to mention that A Fine Imitation came out in May as well. But the next book that they sent me was The Tea Plantation Wife, and this one comes out in September. And this is about a 19-year-old woman who is has a whirlwind relationship or romance with this man in London, and then she moves to Ceylon, which is a colony, and she's very excited about becoming mistress of the house and of this plantation because they live on a tea plantation, and she soon finds that things aren't exactly what they seem, and she finds that the people who work on the tea plantation are very resentful, that her sister-in-law is not a very nice person, and she starts to wonder what happened to her husband's first wife. And it actually says, "Why won't anyone discuss the fate of the first wife, who is buried in the unmarked grave in the forest?" And as darkness about her husband's past emerges, Gwen is forced to make devastating choices, one that might destroy her future and Gwen's chances at happiness. So this also sounds like it's going to have a mysterious aspect to it. And, you know, I can't get enough of tea, so tea and books and historical fiction / romance, I am right there. And then the last one that they sent was The Girl from Paradise Ballroom, and this is a story about a girl who is a hostess at a ballroom, and she has sort of like a romance or a friendship or something with a Italian singer. And then they're separated, and as World War II begins, they're drawn back together unexpectedly. And now she is actually the wife of a very prominent man in society. And so she's worried that he will find out about her past. And obviously these two are drawn together again. And it does say that when Italy declares war on England, they are threatened to be separated forever. So this seems like it's going to be yet another interesting historical romance, and I am excited to get to this one as well. I was just thrilled to be able to pick one of the prizes from the prize page, but when I found out I was going to be getting these 4 historical books that I have not read, and it was funny because I went to add them all to my to be read pile, and these 3 were actually already on my list of books that I wanted to read, so it was definitely a great opportunity to get my hands on these, so I was excited about that. And then the last one is actually a book I requested from Bloomsbury, and they were kind enough to send it to me, and it is Knives and Ink, and it is a book about chefs and the stories behind their tattoos. And I mentioned this in my Friday Reads video, but I have always been really fascinated with the stories behind people's tattoos, and being a big fan of Top Chef and watching every season that has been out so far, they often talk about the stories behind their tattoos, and I always find them really fascinating because I feel like chefs lead such interesting and varied lives, and so the stories behind their tattoos is even more interesting to me than, you know, just your ordinary person. So I was really excited to get this. This is obviously the ARC copy, and it has some color pages because that's what the final copy is going to look like. It's going to have color pages. And I imagine this is going to be a hardcover book. It actually comes out in October, and I think this would be such a wonderful coffee table book, especially if you are someone who really enjoys tattoos or has a lot of tattoos or is passionate about tattoos. I think this would be a great one. And I think that there is also another book by the same author, or at least one of the 2 authors, already out. I think it's called Pen and Ink, which is also another story about people's tattoos and the stories behind them, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But this has been really great, and I started reading it almost as soon as I got it. It's really fun to just dip in and out of, and like I said, it would be an amazing coffee table book. So yeah, I feel really just excited about reading these, and I can't thank the publishers enough for being so kind to send these my way, and Dewey's for having such awesome prizes. But yeah, so I look forward to reading these, and if there are any of these that you're particularly excited about or that you think I should get to first, or if you want to buddy read one because some of these are already out, then please let me know in the comments, and I would love to buddy read with you guys, and I love to hear your thoughts on the books that I pick up. So yes, I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye!